dreams can play. Waking up in Old Angeles City, heart and soul, you can start this day. Can't wait to be home again. On the streets, the life begins. Dreams so sweet, world awakens in this heat. Can't get you off my mind. Beauty and destiny so fine. Angeles City, morning shining bright. Every day a new delight. Busy markets, bustling sound. Voices blend and hearts unbound. Colors dance beneath the sun. Life in every corner run. Endless smiles and endless friends. Feeling close and feeling near. In the Philippines we find simple joys that fill our mind. Can't get you off my mind. Beauty and destiny so fine. Angeles City.
Good morning. Really? You're not eating the rest. Show me your breakfast.
Welcome to Philippine Antics. I am AI generated. I am
wish.
eating an AI generated
I wish
yum
you.
burger. Welcome. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
He's been watching too much of that TikTok stuff, guys. Like for real.
Masanting abak.
George.
Good morning to all.
Oh Lord. Oh, by the way, did you see this?
Aw,
Yes, and congratulations to our
Congratulations.
niece Haley that just went off to college. Her mother's missing her so much.
aw.
So she has grown up so quick.
Oh, she went. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's what that was this morning.
I didn't realize she,
No,
went.
literally, yeah. She just arrived
Yeah.
there at the dorm and stuff. So
Yeah.
really proud of her.
Dorm
so.
life, yes. Yeah, how are you guys doing today? I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, a wonderful evening for those of you in the Philippines and in the West.
So much going on today, and a few things. We'll probably mention some side things that are going on while George chomps down on his breakfast here. That today we're going to cover. This isn't strictly about World Zoom Paul and the things that he's gone through, although he did release a second video. He said he had receipts and photos. We seen one photo that he presented. Also, other channels have actually been speaking on this. Not as many as the original, but we still feel that there is a lot to learn from this. But the coverage today is about being alone in the Philippines because technically he is. Okay, he keeps mentioning of this Sheila. I don't know if he's just changing her name or if she really exists. I'm not sure at this point. But technically he was alone here. And there's several expats that are here alone that deal with medical issues. Mark Thornton is still saying that he is a rep for the United States Embassy, the same as Paul Old Dog Nutrex. But Mark Thornton said that he's still a representative and he just visited a gentleman. I believe his name is Reginald. That turned out to have been in an accident, and he was being taken care of by somebody, and the guy was down and out. And as I'm to understand, the guy has passed away, sadly. But this happens a lot. There's a lot of people, once they leave the United States, you lose a lot of connections, a lot of rights. And I will mention those as rights because in the second video, we want to hear your opinion on it. That and George watched the video this morning where Paul from Zoom stated a lot of different things about his rights being taken away. He did spend time in a Thai facility, And I asked George, which he actually would think would be worse, and I would think Thai would be 3 times
Thailand
as
is
worse.
worse, hands down. That's not even a question.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of stuff happened to him there, but I feel we're still not getting the full story from that. I was just looking at it's like he'll tell part of it and then leave some of it off. But medical conditions and issues, legal issues, homeless people here that are destitute, that are trying to work under the table, non-payments of immigration, and all these other things is what our coverage will be today and what we want to hear from people about. And on the other hand, George is back from his vacation. He got in yesterday or day before?
Last night.
Last night? No, it was the day before. Sunday night. You got in Sunday night at 9:30
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
10.
yeah. Never mind. I lost the day. I
He's
lost the
losing
day.
a day, yeah,
I
because
lost the
he
day.
slept. No, he really had been
I lost the
sleeping
day.
to make up
I did.
for it.
I did. So, but yeah,
So
no,
how
no.
was
Sorry,
that?
sorry. I did. I missed that all. Huh? What? It was awesome. Oh my
Money
gosh!
for nothing
I
and your
saw the
chicks for
biggest.
free.
I saw one of the biggest churches ever. It's Neglesia de Cristo. It's in Marikina. Chimney crickets.
Did you stop and pray for your little soul?
Wrong religion, but
Did you
no,
pray for my little soul?
no, wrong religion.
But
But
you could
no,
still, it doesn't
no.
matter.
It's
It's God's church, I'm sure, unless it was a bunch of
most
monks.
cathedrals are Catholic. This is like an Iglesia de Cristo cathedral. It was huge.
I'm still sure they had a God.
It was giant. Well, it's the same God. It's just a different, offshoot. But
Yeah.
let me just again, because it's been bothering me, not because of anything in particular. It's when somebody says, "Well, my girlfriend is," AKA, I'm talking about Paul right now. To clarify, um, when somebody says, "Well, my girlfriend is one of the first female police officers in Dubai," I have an issue with that because one, that never happened. Um, Two, what I'm saying is, was there a female police officer in Dubai? Yes. Was her name Sheila? No. Was she in a relationship with you? I highly doubt it. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, let's get things out of the way real quick. That no, no, no. I'm telling you the background of Paul. He did say the first female officer in Dubai was his girlfriend named Sheila.
I don't know.
However,
It's not what the
does
guard said, but
well, the point being, again, that's what I'm trying to get things out of the way. I'm saying what words was said, and also keep in mind, does Sheila exist? Probably yes.
do you guys think Sheila really exists?
Well, that's the thing. Does she exist? Is she the first female officer in Dubai? No.
I'm not.
That's a given. It's definitely not. But is her name Sheila? Probably not either. What I'm saying is it possible that he's just renaming?
Yeah, he could just be renaming.
Yeah, right, for anonymity's sake. Correct. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Well, babe,
There's a lot
you can
done.
fact check this. It's really easy to do. It's
Yeah. So a lot to unpack, but the biggest thing is that even Sunshine Shoulders came through and said somebody
Hey,
did
Calvin.
the same thing to him.
Hey, Paul, all done.
And
Hey, baby me. Hey, Heidi. I just got back, so I'm excited.
I bet you are. All you did was sleep yesterday, so good for you.
Pretty much.
But I don't know. Sunshine said that he went through the same thing because they were talking about he was talking about the toxicity of the YouTube, like situation, and he said same thing happened to him. Somebody tried to turn him in. I know that there was something when they pulled him in and something with his immigration and all kinds of things had went down with him. So he says he's familiar with the system. Do I believe the system is 100% straight up? The answer is don't know. I mean, I think no legal system is straight up, even
Thank
one
you.
the US.
I was going to say that. Doesn't
This-
matter whether you're in communist,
I'm gonna
or
tell you, you guys think the one
democratic
in the
system.
US
There's no
is?
perfect system.
You guys know I speak on that one. The answer is no. And as far as cleaning of the actual area, that's up to the jailers and prisoners themselves to clean that up. They're not going to send anybody in there.
Oh no, no, never.
No,
Even in the
even
U.S.,
the U.S.,
no,
it's the
never.
people inside themselves. But here's the thing: he said also that the detention facility, Paul said that they hired in guards and they were not BI personnel.
And I doubt it. No, I doubt that.
They train them by
I'm
the
very-
whole lots.
It's very
full.
questionable.
So a lot going on, a lot unfolding. But all I know is you don't want to be in his situation, and yet he still releases another video. And so much to unpack.
Yeah.
But it's just not a place. Once you leave the safety net of your own country, it doesn't matter what country it is, you're going to deal with problems. And a lot of the guys are coming here over a certain age and they're relying on their Filipino.
Where?
Right?
Where?
Find
Oh,
you.
here he is. Well, oh, what? Oh, yeah, I'm darker than normal too. That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
But anyway,
so all the light in the world wasn't going to help.
yeah, no. Anyway,
Right.
it's a lot. I got a lot of sun.
You did get a lot of sun. But anyway.
No. Again, it's kind of funny, but not funny that again that he expects somebody to do all of that for him while you're incarcerated. No, I'm very familiar with somewhat the incarceration system in the U.S. Not only because I dealt with a lot of officers. Actually, one of them that worked in the prison. They said, "I really like you, George," and I said, and he goes like, "Do you want to work for me?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And then he goes like this. He goes like, "I'll find a way to get you in." I'm like, wait, what? But anyway, no. I did have a good relationship with a lot of.
That's what the guy said last night down there on Walking Street on the other side of Envy.
Oh, I said yes. But anyway, I'm kidding.
That's probably
I'm
where
kidding.
your vacation
I'm
went
kidding.
to.
So anyway, hey MB, hello Philippine Antics Squad. How you doing? Hi Sarah, how you doing? Hello Heidi and George. Hello roomies. Hi Sarah. Pablo Chan says, I think George is in Brazil. Wow, I would love to go to Brazil, but never got a chance. Not yet, anyway.
I would not go to Brazil at this point.
What is that little tiny thing?
Somebody waving. Hey, just two.
Hey, just two. Oh, I see it now. Ted Dingen says, "Hello, beautiful people. New song is pumping." Thank you so much, Ted. That was made by yours truly.
Another one. Yeah.
Razor X says, "Hi, Heidi and George, South Carolina in the house." Hi, peeps. It's kind of funny that remember last time we talked. I talked about the Carolinas, and recently when I was on that trip, everybody was asking me, "What do you think is the best place you've ever visited?" And I said, "Actually, the Carolinas." Well, because I meant it. But anyway, Max Ryder says, "Hello, Heidi and George." Chosen One says,
interesting though. Yeah, go ahead.
"Oh, Chosen One. World Zoom has declared war. Well, war in the Philippines. He's doing it right. He's gonna sue everybody."
I've seen where people, I might even read through some comments of his because there was even a reference back to Sunshine Shoulders. Matter of fact, I think I pulled them up right now. I get it, but there's so much to say. There's so much.
Well, we'll talk about it. And again, Chosen One says, I'm not scared of many things, but a Philippine detention center is one of them. Might as well be call it jail. Well, regardless of whether you're innocent or not, everybody's kind of dread that. It's kind of like one of those, you haven't done anything, but that's hilarious. Good job, Calvin. All right, so what I'm saying is, whenever you drive, you haven't done anything, but when a cop pulls behind you, you're kind of like, you're like on your best behavior. You know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Good job, Calvin.
Yeah. I went in there to look for World Zoom. Check out Sunshine Shoulders with his hair. That is so cute. He looks like one of those '60s singers from
Yeah, the ones with the comb overs.
Motown. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he just looks like a Motown singer, just the way he has his hair and everything. That's funny.
Yeah.
He must have got one of those hair pieces off of Lazada or Shopee.
Yeah, I know. His
Shopee.
Yeah. Research
so
says
cute.
suing for what, right? Exactly. JJ Jones says chosen. World Zoom is all BS. YouTube needs to pull his channel. Chosen one says Zoom is BS. I agree.
I believe part of his story, but you know, he's not telling his entire story, okay? So he's still sticking to a 10-year situation that, every time somebody said something, he was going by, it's been 10 years since that, but it's not been that long since he's actually been out. There is a time frame. There legally is a time frame. And it depends on the situation. And it depends on you with immigration, okay? And his was also federal. And federal at this point, as I'm to understand, does not apply. So his is like a total different situation. And he says he has the receipts, but I mean, he knew he had already left and came back, and people had been, at him saying things for quite some time. So he actually returned and just went back in for what he is now saying is the tourist visa. Some of the newspapers said he was going for a permanent residency. The local jail people said that it was a permanent residency and that he had a wife. There was all kinds of things floating around back then, but it is probably just strictly due to his actual crime. It was a very high level, high price, millions and millions of dollars US, let alone, so there was all kinds of insinuations about it being taxes and this and that. He said that it wasn't that. And then it was just a, deportation. He's saying he's not blacklisted. All kinds of things have actually been said, but a lot of what he's saying is vague. So
yeah, and just real quick,
I think it's just to keep 5, 6, 7 series going on.
Yeah,
It
just to put again establishment on the subject, just real quick. For those of you who don't know Paul again, he embezzled over 3 million. I say over 3 million because our stories vary, but it's basically definitely over $3 million. Not pesos,
from
dollars.
2 different places.
Correct. And it's usually from people who actually need the money. But anyway, this is what he did. Now, again, if you want to see the breakdown of his character, go watch our other video or live about him because there's a lot of
Or
discrepancies.
Paul,
Timelines,
or,
right.
you had
The
the
timelines don't match.
Filipina P and Paul Old Dog, same thing. A lot of them pulled their videos, including
Right.
Mark Thornton,
Right.
because his stories were so inconsistent and
Correct.
so out there
The
that he even
stories don't
claimed
match. They don't
after
match.
his felony convictions, he even managed to become a big person at a Thai hospital, and he was still employed. There was all kinds of things going on in his stories that he was telling, and it could be, that some of these things happen, but the rest of it seems
Well,
highly
it's
unlikely.
just an example. Like he was incarcerated with this big time guy named Victor, but the timelines don't match. The guy was already gone, and he claims he spent time in prison with him. That kind of deal. It's obvious like they never happened, and that's what we're getting at. There's a lot of things that he says that don't make sense because the timelines don't match. Not even close.
Oh, snap. Somebody 2 hours ago put, don't you honestly think that we can't notice that you were sucking in your stomach in those photos?
Correct. That's another
the first
thing.
thing
That's
that George
another thing.
said, that he was laying on the bed, and you can tell whether somebody is just skinny and sucking it in
How
versus
you would know is because when you suck in, your stomach sucks, the bottom level of your stomach sucks in. When you're not, you still have a pooch.
So somebody called him out on it.
You're skinny.
I'm just reading comments
but
here. You need to know
yeah.
that you can't fool the people.
Yeah, your body concaves in, but you still have a pooch on the bottom. But when you suck it in, it sucks in that pooch too. That's how you know
Somebody
somebody's
said-
sucking it in. Just so you guys know.
Said somebody I'm absolutely insane. No way I'd let this happen to me. I would rather unalive resisting than to put up with that. Paul
Mm,
said, well, if you resist it, you will get your wish. I'm not thinking that. I don't think that's the way
that's
you
not how it
really
works.
think that if
That's not how it works.
you're already in jail. I mean,
The
he then said, true that, but would you go down fighting? With my family, they would have taken care of that through a policy or would have been taken care of. And he said, I traveled, this other guy said, I traveled all the world and been exposed to paid and unpaid extortion. But when it comes to my freedom and health, I would just unalive in that matter. I even told some cartel thugs in Mexico to go F themselves, and they let me go at that point. This is the other guy talking to Paul. So, um, let's see. I wanted to find the one because I was going to put together a like video thing of that. There it is. So Sunshine Shoulders talked about you in a positive light, praising your transparency. And yes, I believe part of his story, and we did have a few comments that came through and said that we were uncaring and why we weren't supporting our fellow or my fellow, because George, you guys keep forgetting he is Filipino citizen, why we weren't supporting a man that was down on his luck. Well, the man that was down on his luck got out, went right back to the US and started videos trying to totally tear down the country. And so he's doing it from afar, saying things that right now I don't see the receipts for. And he even talked about at one point that there were stacks and stacks of paper in front of him with money clipped to it and divided off between four people in an immigration Cebu office. He's flat out telling these things about the office. And like George said, I don't think they would be doing that directly in front of him. He said he had some guy named
Oh,
Mike as a
okay.
witness.
Yeah. So to clarify again,
Well, real quick. Okay.
no. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say on a side note, our heart does go out to the people that are incarcerated because there was a woman in there for like 10, 12 years. Both her and her husband were incarcerated. Now, are the facilities bad? Yes. Are they going to? He said they didn't feed him at all. Oh, he's getting fed, but you're going to get like one cup of rice or something per meal with a small piece of fish or one boiled egg or something. You're not going to get a lot of food. And yes, all the help has to come from other Americans that'll come and help you and your family members and all of that. So if you end up in jail, it's going to be a problem. If you end up in a hospital situation like Sunshine Shoulders did, the US Embassy isn't going to help you. It could be weeks upon weeks upon weeks, 2 months maybe before they can either arrange a ticket for you, which you do have to pay back and they need your passport for that, or they're not going to help you. And a lot of people feel that they're going to get some sort of assistance or get them out of a situation, hence that Midnight Express movie. That's a real deal. Once you leave the safety net of your country, no matter what country, I don't care if you're coming straight from Russia, it's not going to be that easy. And that's a you accept that you basically, in a nutshell, you accept you cannot afford medical at some point and that you could end up in a jail, and you do accept a lot of these things. You have to somewhat. And World Zoom has to and had to have known with that type of background whether or not he would be able to legally stay here, or if something would come up, or hence him running this channel and the
Yeah.
YouTube channels. A lot of people said, that you publicly had been in the eye, but he said that Sunshine Shoulder praised him for his transparency. He said, "Thank you for keeping us informed." And he replied, "Yeah, I do appreciate him saying that. I appreciate that. I worry about Sunshine. He's on the BI radar." Was his
Okay.
response.
So that's kind of weird for him to say that, if that makes any sense. I
Yeah,
mean,
how would he know that?
correct. Now, also keep in mind that this is okay. Paul Cardwell, if you're listening,
Well, he said he does watch.
I hate to say this,
He's like, I
but
haven't watched their new
he's
stuff.
really not in jail, in prison. He's in detention center. Big difference. Big difference. What I'm saying is, prison is a completely different animal. As they call it, it's or mainstream jail or population, as most Americans call it, it's not the same as a detention center. He was not in those situations. Not the same thing. Um, some of you know what I'm talking about. What I'm getting at. In prison, for example, you have to stand in line to wait to even get scraps of food, that kind of deal. Big difference in Philippine those type of situations
Well,
versus where
and
he's
it was
at.
weird because he said there were children there. And why would there be? I
Yeah.
mean, maybe during visits or something. I
Well,
kind
either
of missed
way, he's
that
in a
too.
detention center. It's not the same thing. There's claims that he's in there with Barry Jordan.
Yeah, Barry Jordan.
Keyword claims, okay, allegedly, because again, but however, that also kind of goes against him if he was, because wait a minute, you're telling me Barry Jordan is free to walk around in this detention
And you were
center
chained
and you're
down.
locked up.
That's what you said, chained down.
So that goes against him as far as the story goes.
And that
because
footage showed that he was outside, so he couldn't have been too chained down. His footage was outside
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It kind of there's a
because we
lot
have part of that
there's a
footage.
lot of things that don't mesh well. Only Barry Jordan or can actually testify whether he was in the same. But what I'm saying is, if
And
even if he was, why
and
is Barry Jordan free
honestly,
and he's not
he should have taken
to
more
walk around?
precaution and actually spoke with the immigration lawyers in advance, attorneys in advance in the U.S. in regards to whether or not he could be here like we did.
Right.
So it's a big difference, and I'm sure at that point they would have said no. So we always said consult with people. We always did.
Yeah, and also, guys, you have to guys keep in mind that this is a guy who knows how to slip through cracks. If that makes any sense, you know.
What?
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah. So again, like I said, he's a guy who knows how to slip through cracks. He knows like the ins and outs of. In his words, he is the master of you know, illegal activities when it comes to money. If that makes
Mhm.
it's kind of ironic that he boasts about it. Again, he claims that, oh, I can see corruption in front of me. These guards are going through the money and dividing it in front of me. Wait, hold on. How did you see this? So you're telling me they in front of your cell, the entire conglomerate puts up a table in front of you, throw down money and important documents in front of you, and divvy it up while you're in front of the cell. I mean, guys, come
Well,
on.
no, he didn't say it was a cell. That's what I tried to
I
tell
understand
you.
that. I
It was
understand
in
that.
the immigration office. He claims that he sat around with the big wigs for hours or the
But you
entire
have to remember,
day
he said this, he's seen it 15 times.
during the day. Why he was in there, not inside the jail
Well,
cell. That's
either
what I was
way,
trying to
why would they do it in
explain.
front of him, regardless whether inside
I
the
don't
jail
think they
cell or
would.
not?
Yeah, I mean, if it was what
Right.
it was, and then his statement was that he is better at that than they are, and he was
Correct. He
talking
was
about
boasting
money
about it.
laundering, about
Yeah.
his money laundering, and I'm like, what does the big C or corruption got to do with anything with laundering money and siphoning it from one place to another, which is also something that the YouTube world is talking about, is how has he been surviving financially, being he's doing all this traveling, and he was doing it before, afterwards. And one of the fees that he said he paid was 13,000 pesos, and the average expat cannot afford that. I'm sorry, 13,000 is a big hit.
That's another
If you're
thing,
the
guys.
top 1% or 2% that are here that have, what do you call that, expeditionist, if you have a crap load of money, then maybe you can afford something like that. But he said one of the fees was 400,000 pesos.
Correct.
So some of it
And
just
what we're
didn't.
getting at is, again, when he arrived in the Philippines, he was fresh out of, getting incarcerated. Now, then he got to the Philippines, yada yada yada, and somehow he has like an unlimited source of money.
Anyways, I said we were going to turn this into him, but it's kind of hard.
Well, it's part of, but
Yeah, it's
point
part
being
of
is,
that.
again,
Even let's say it all is true, you
there's
still
there's
don't
a
want
lot
to be
of
caught up in it.
questionable things that
Somebody said he should go to 2020 or one of those other shows about the bad jails and all that. And I'm
well,
thinking
one, they're not
you'd
going to
have a,
listen to him.
yeah, well, yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is they're not going to. Okay, doesn't matter what show they're gonna look at you and they're gonna look at your um they're gonna do a simple discovery on you and they're like, okay, never mind. If he was like Mother Teresa, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a regular Joe Schmo and still kind of then they still might not.
Let's see here. What did Barry do? What's his story? And further down, John Ryder said he overstayed and someone put a case against him. Yeah, there was something about abuse of the girlfriend, abuse of a couple people at a bar. He pulled out a weapon or
Yeah,
something.
and there's
And that
cameras.
makes sense. He's not allowed to leave until that case is seen by the Philippine government. If it just would have been an overstay, we know he was overstaying. That's one thing, but also supposedly there's another case. So no, he's not. It's probably going to be a long time. If that's the case, which there were other comments on other channels about Zoom. They thought there was something else that he's not actually discussing because he said that the commissioner based it was sent to him in Manila to Tancinco and that the letter the poster that was created was sent to him and based on that he put a hold on him at the immigration offices and that he didn't do any research. And that's what's hard for me is the commissioner. The rest of them, that really need money or they're, working with fixers or whatever that possibility could happen in a poor country like this where people need to feed their families. I get it. But I'm not believing, way at the top. He just decided for no reason to hold him unless he really found it disgusting that he stole millions of dollars from hospitals, including funds that belonged for kids. If he got a hold of the entire file, and evidently there was something in the NBI, if you can't pass the NBI clearance, that's an actual situation. That's why they were saying he was going for a permanent residency. That's what they said up there at the jail and in several newspapers. But then there were others that said that it was just a tourist visa. But evidently, they ran his name through an NBI hit, which is connected to a bunch of other systems, and he was not cleared. So who knows?
Right. Racetrack says his channel doesn't benefit me, so not wasting my time. John Ryder says, good morning, Heidi, George, and all.
Good morning. I need more coffee.
John Calder says, right in the U.S. is free speech. Well, somewhat. Even in the U.S., you're still limited. However, using your right to speech here in the Philippines can get you in a lot of trouble. Again, even in the U.S., you can't talk crap to a certain degree. In the Philippines, you're more on a microscope, if that makes any sense. What I'm saying is, in the US, you kind of get drowned out in the static. Here, you stand out because you're an expat. If that makes any sense too. But you can't. Bottom line, you're in a guest country. You shouldn't talk crap about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be happy. Thumbs up. Thank
I
you so
mean, there's
much.
a limit, and that is something George knows that I've actually discussed. Is there's still a lot that I'd like to say, and people are like, oh, I like when people keep it real, and they're now praising him on the side for telling the world. And even Sunshine said that. I'm glad he's telling the world, but there's still a limit to
There's a
that.
certain level of
Sunshine still has
truth.
to live here
Yeah, but
too.
there's a certain level of truth and certain level of dude, you prop.
I feel that people are, is it the word repressed here as expats? You do lose a lot of rights, but you're supposed to be behaving anyways while you're here, but you still lose a lot. And sometimes I feel, and George knows that there's a lot that I can't do and would rather be able to do more. But in general, for people, it's going to be really hard. But you get my point. Is
It's kind of like
that it'd
this.
be
If the locals refuse to talk about something, you definitely should not talk about it.
That's pretty much just it. That's what I mean, is
What
there's
I'm saying is
things that
there's limits to what I will say. Not because
even
I'm
as a Filipino,
right,
correct,
correct. If the locals again, if they refuse to talk about something, you probably should not talk about it either. It's
which is that. I'm sure
keep in mind
there's
that's in the US again, like I said, you have more freedom, but there's a lot more people talking crap over in the US, and you guys know this. Um Victor C says, "Hi, Heidi, George and Heidi." Hey, Victor, how you doing? Smile and be. I believe this is called sarcasm. Smile
Yeah,
and be happy says Paul would never lie.
there
A
it
chosen one.
is.
That's like, yeah. Again,
Good morning, Philippines and beyond. And
that's
Mike Ross is in
sarcasm.
the
Yeah.
house.
Um, John Ryder says, way too many foreigner channels in the Philippines. Most every channel is copy slash paste zero. This is true. This is very true. It's kind of annoying. Oh, the first, let me have my first time eating Jollibee.
Philippines and beyond says my understanding that the NBI is only a domestic clearance. I'm not sure about that.
Huh?
That's what Philippines and beyond isn't the NBI like the FBI? Wouldn't they get hits?
No, no, no. They would. They would. They would. There's a
We
blacklist.
get that it's
There,
domestic
there
and
is a
they do.
blacklist. And
There is.
yeah, yeah, no, there is like for again, some of you we don't cover it because it's very normal. A lot of Westerners come to the airport and then they get caught and then they get sent back. We
Well,
don't talk
then,
about this because again, it's very normal. It's every day.
mhm.
It's every day. If you live here,
And then you're
yeah,
going to wonder why one person is picked up and the next person isn't,
correct.
AKA me. And I'm just going to put that out there.
There you go.
Sore subject. Very, very sore subject for some people. And then they just lose their mind on that because I've seen a comment saying there's another vlogger that has a background that just got her 13A. And it's like, yeah, whole different story.
Different story.
Not trying to
Different
pat
story.
myself on the back,
There's a
but I already
blacklist.
checked into
They
that.
do intercept people on
Already
a
have
daily
an
basis.
attorney and already passed everything,
It-
and I will
yeah.
continue to pass it.
Correct.
So I don't owe millions and millions of dollars and just got out of jail less than what, 5 years ago? I think it's not been very many years
Yeah,
since
we've
he
been
last
in
been
and out
out.
of the U.S.
Not me. I'm talking about him. I'm
Oh,
talking
him.
about Paul. Paul, that last bit that he actually turned state's evidence on his partner or whatever to get out early of a 10-year something sentence with millions to pay was within the last couple years. He keeps saying 2012, plus it's a federal crime, plus it's millions and millions of
Right.
dollars. So that is something that everybody needs to talk to. There's lots of felons here, lots of them, lots and lots and lots and lots. They're all over the place, a bunch of overstayers. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people that, and you're going to hear the comments over and over and over again. There's tons of forums and people saying, hey, like one guy, he said he was like 16 years old when something happened to him and he became a felon. And it's like, okay, well, isn't that before you're 18? He said no. So something tells me it was after he was 18. And like people are searching for this information to get in. So the basic situation is they do have a blacklist. They do have ways of checking and putting people through. And that's up to the immigration office and to Cinco or whatever his name is to make that decision on who stays and comes. I think that's why a lot of people stay on that tourist visa. And I think that's why people also are all in a panic right now because they are really talking about possibly cutting that 36 months for the tourist visa renewals. But right now, supposedly, just recently, within the month, they released that letter stating that they're really going to start checking everybody out that comes in and making them get the correct visas if they've been here too long. So we would have to see. But yes, basically, Philippines and beyond, yes, it's meant for a local clearance, but it's connected to a bunch of other stuff. So for sure. But
Yeah, I mean it is
good morning.
it is the FBI of the Philippines. It's not just a very.
There is a blacklist.
I mean,
and
it's yeah, it exists. Yes.
mhm.
Victor C says, Heidi, how are the pet cats?
I'm staring at one now that's living on our router. That poor
Because
kitten
it's
is not
warm. It's nice and
getting.
warm. So she
She-
loves it.
The new kitten's doing good. The cats are doing good, but the kitten herself is just not growing. We've had her for a month, and doesn't she look the same size?
Yeah.
George got back. He's like, "Oh my God, she's tiny." I said,
Yeah,
"No,
she
she's
still
not
is.
growing."
Well, she is, but not as big as the other ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's.
Robin Mary says, hello, all. Chosen One says, no, no, no. We don't doubt he lost weight, but there's a difference between sucking it in and natural.
No, we could see that, no doubt. I mean, he's
Yeah.
down
No, he
to
did lose weight.
it's
Yes.
down to $1 a day worth of food, and it's mostly rice. And I don't even think that's 3 times a day. I think that's twice a
The
day
Philippines done him real
that he
good.
said.
Yeah. No, no, no. He did lose weight because again, if you're eating
He's,
a
I
cup of
mean,
rice and odds are to you know,
I feel bad for him for the situation that he was actually there, and nobody deserves that. But he kept returning to the Philippines, not just once, but several times. So he's been here, like he left and they thought that was a issue. Like there's a bunch of people when he left this last time said, "Oh, it's because he was deported and this and that." And it's like, no, we didn't hear anything about that. But then he returned back here. So I don't know. He has to know that there is some sort of issue about being here. I just think he was just
right. January
don't want to say
says
the word.
that's way too funny. They would remove your head. He's talking about like if you decide to, I guess, ex-nay by cops, that kind of deal. I think that's what January's talking about. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Benweezy.
that's just what John Ryder's talking about. Bean Weezy says Lander's pad thai is so authentic and much spicier in Thailand. Laughing face.
Yeah, that we were saying that it's not.
No, don't get me wrong, it's really good, but you know, authenticity is a different story. Will I eat it again? Yes. But no. I'm I'm telling you, Paul is shameless. John Ryder says Barry been here for a year and a half, and Sprung Edwards says you're correct. John Ryder says, "Yep, no bear for a long time." Enigma says, "Mayang buntag satanan." Good morning
Good
to all.
morning.
I think we already answered this, right? What did Bear? Yeah, we did. We did chosen. We already mentioned it earlier. What did Bear do? What's the story? Oh, it's a water delivery. Um, John Ryder says he can walk anywhere, have friends at all times of day. Can you have your girlfriend stay at night? Oh, you can have your girlfriend stay at night.
Okay.
That's what John Ryder's saying.
Right. So I don't know why
Whoa,
he
whoa,
was.
whoa, whoa! What is that?
Yeah, that's your fault. Hmm.
Victor, here's your question.
Still the same size. No,
Okay.
don't put her on me. Well, jump down. She was after. What happened to her?
John
That's
Ryder
exactly
says
what
he
she's looking
overstayed and
for.
someone put a case. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
John Ryder says once the case is over, Bear can go home. Well, the question is which
But I'm just
home?
wondering why one was locked up and the other one wasn't. And I thought they moved that detention center. We were saying that on their site, they said last year that they were changing that location.
John Ryder says if I stole that much money, I would be in Russia, right? Um,
As someone says, I guess you won't be back in the Philippines. He replied, thanks.
yeah. There are non extradition treaties, meaning there's
She's looking for the
oh
food,
well,
but
again, there's places where America's not going to extract you, and I think that's what John Ryder's talking about.
yeah. And here you just won't, you're not going to get the help. The US Embassy will send a representative over, and I was even surprised to hear the toothpaste and toothbrush situation. Supposed to be vitamins, a list of like attorneys and help, and they'll check to make sure that all your stuff is being met. Now, as far as that was news to me. We don't watch all of his stuff that he was diabetic, but he did mention he was and couldn't keep his insulin cold. That's just something that was never going to happen here. And what happened to him in Thailand? He was there for quite some time too. So if he was diabetic, that means that would have happened too. But if he was being starved like he said he was, then at that point, his diabetes should have cleared up pretty quick.
Right.
Who knows? There was no sugar, no nothing, but it's a lot to actually process.
Mike Ross says, if this expat news channel and not a drama channel, you should know the facts before commenting. Some might think you are saying all facts and not. Now, keep in mind, there are some facts and there are some not. Meaning, for example, I'm giving you a concrete example because you brought it
And
up.
this isn't an expat news channel.
Yeah,
We never
just real
claimed
quick.
it
Again,
was.
for example, fact is the first policewoman in Dubai his girlfriend? Fact, no. Is her name Sheila? Fact, no. I clearly stated those facts. And again,
Yeah,
does
he
he
did
have
say
a
that.
girlfriend? Yes. Is her name Sheila? Maybe. Probably changed the name by anonymity. But the facts are there. The first policewoman in Dubai is not his girlfriend. But anyway, we're very clear on facts and not facts when we say we think, alleged, probably. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you disseminate what people said, probably, what somebody says, probably, maybe, alleged, if you consider that as facts, then that's on you. If that
Or
makes
the
any
things
sense.
he's actually, all we're
Highly
doing is
unlikely.
saying what came from him, from the comment
Yeah,
section, and what's actually out there.
correct. And again, like I said, for instance, if there is a
And it
crime,
is a conversation.
no,
This
right,
is a full topic. We already said do your own due diligence,
and use
look
common
things up,
sense.
go check it out yourself. You have access to go see him. We're not the, what is it, the say all of end all or
Right, right.
something.
And again, use
So
common sense. I mean,
yeah, it's
use common sense. What I'm saying is, extortion, all that kind of stuff is illegal. You really think somebody's going to do something illegal in front of somebody that's not involved? Like, again, alleged stuff going on, the money division of this extorted money. Do you really think they're going to do it in front of this guy? I mean, come on.
and you really
Especially,
think this commissioner, I mean, I'm not going to go through.
no. Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying is,
No, I'm not saying.
that's more especially you don't. I'm saying is, well,
Yeah, exactly. So
hey, Bisayan ka no. Hello, Antiques.
good
Hey, Bisayan ka no.
morning.
January says, but you have to have NBI clearance if you have to stay here more than 6 months. Correct.
Yes. Well, if you are getting, you don't have to have one if just because you're staying here more than 6 months. If you've been here more than 6 months, that will also be required for you to get your permanent residency or whatever permanent status like SRRV and everything. So it's not automatic that you just have to when you're on a tourist visa. I think that's why some stay on it.
Yeah, January says, well, it comes up as a red flag when they scan your passport.
It's a possibility, yes.
This will get revoked from entering the Philippines. I'm not gonna put that up, but yeah, you guys get the picture.
Yeah, them are actually probably the ones that they are looking for to begin with. So
Chris Monk says, if you have a record, best to keep a low profile. Victor C says, meow. Nice. Thank you, Victor. Philippines and Beyond says Barry is an 8-year overstayer. Well, if you're an overstayer, keep a low profile. Don't cause trouble. Wisangana says
well,
depends
and
on the
that was
diabetes.
different. Barry had, as I'm to understand, he had a YouTube channel forever fighting with those other dark channels forever. And so you're just sitting back and forth, arguing back and forth with people. That would be a big difference.
Well, he's an aggressive guy. I mean, the fact that he brandished out
Well, he had a YouTube channel too. And him and I guess this one guy went back and forth forever. So
Chris Monk says, here's my theory. Since the Philippine government can't catch all the bad guys, I think it's their strategy to make an example of a more high-profile cases.
that's what he said. He did say at one point in the video that they wanted to make an example that they had caught an American and they wanted to make a big example of him. But there's a lot of, I don't know if I call it a high profile case.
He's not that big. He's not that important. I'm not, I'm not that big. I'm not that important. Heidi's not that big. Heidi's not that important. What I'm saying
That
is,
actor that was actually put out a while back,
same
that
thing.
he was, his girlfriend's up there and he is. So that was, but wasn't. So
And
I don't
again,
know. I just think that,
well, and again, they catch people all day, every day.
yeah.
Here in Clark, they're in the again, it is just something we don't talk about because it happens on a regular basis, happens on a daily basis. It's not our job to tell you guys, oh, hey, they caught another one. Oh, hey, they caught another one. You know what? That's every day. Um, John Ryder says, if you overstay here and don't cause trouble, you will never be messed with.
Yeah, I don't know. Hello, Danny Flood. I see something about a decent conversation. Knowledgeable expat is what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what that's
Todd
about.
Pacey and Beck Clarence. No, it is. It is. The ECC is just to clear that you have no cases against you. You don't have pending
Yes.
debts, that kind of deal that you have
And
to
every
square
time you
away.
do your visa, they do some sort of clearance. Every time I got my visa, they ran me through a system each time, and it actually does state, and that's probably where he got caught, is they put him through a different type of system because they just started, doing that. What was it, last year? They came up with another system. They implemented some other system last year, and people are like, oh, well, whoever leaves and comes back will get caught, and all those that are here will get caught. And we heard all kinds of fear mongering on that. And there was there is a clearance. Everybody gets a letter attached to their
Oh, hey.
paperwork stating that, yeah, they're quick about that. That's how come that little case of food disappeared.
You
The
know where we're feeding the kid, and next thing you know, it's a giant kitty.
giant kittens eating. And you get a clearance every time. That's for sure.
Yeah. John Ryder says, would you want the police here to know you stole $3 million? No, of course not. Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess you corrected it. Rob Morrison says, hi, George and Heidi. Happy anniversary. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
topic. Going from a ACRI card next trip in January. Good to hear that. Good to
Gotcha.
hear that. Did you need an NBI? I don't remember. I think you
That
did.
was just it. You sure? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, no, you don't.
Mm-mm.
No, you did. You did.
I did?
I think so.
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
I've had so many of them.
Yeah, it's kind of normal. We did. Well, anyway, yeah. JD
That's been
says
so far back that I got my original,
right,
but I
and
didn't
it's
need
been
it.
more than one NBI clearance. So
Maybe we did.
well,
Maybe I actually needed it for that second
that's
one.
what I'm saying. We'd had it done twice. We had 2 NBI clearances already. So
Actually, I've had multiples.
yeah,
So I think I've had 4 so far.
yeah. JD says, don't believe anything Zoomer says. He's a high functioning sociopath and history of lying.
I'm a low functioning sociopath.
That didn't sound right, but okay.
Thanks.
Andrew says, if you stay low key, no one bothers you here. Upset the wife or her family, her friends and neighbors, then you have trouble start, even if you're legal. I keep saying here you are an outcast. Well, I wouldn't say outcast. That's a little too dark or bad of a word. I mean,
I
outcast.
think the second
You're not
class
shunned.
citizen.
Outcasts are shunned.
No, I would say that you really truly become a second class citizen here because I mean, I've always had that theory that people should be able to go everywhere, no matter what country. It should be open borders. A lot of people will disagree because we see what's going on in the US. And I believe everybody does deserve a second chance, including World Zoom. But it looks like some of his behavior was still carrying over at different points of, that was another issue that it was actually carrying over. But because I know there's a lot of felons here and I feel they deserve to be here. I think the Philippines keeping out the ones that they do, the ones that were listed above, should actually happen and it should be on a case to case basis. And what I know of as of right now, it is a case to case basis, but people should check into that before they come here. I think some of them come here and then stop doing their immigration and they're on the mend after that. And that's a problem too.
Yeah, a lot of people think that,
But I don't know where thought for sure 100% that because it's been 10 years that he didn't have any problems. And I guess somewhere he actually believed that. He kept repeating the 10-year situation. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why.
Not for a federal offense like that,
No,
anyways, and not for millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's over 3 million, and that's not even a question. And those are facts. We're not making those up. But anyway, Mike Ross says Barry Jordan had no choice. He needed the income from YouTube to survive. Yeah.
He might have been broke. There was stories about him being super, super broke. John Ryder asked, "Do I believe in open borders?" I believe humans should be able to go wherever they need to go. I don't think I do believe that. So I believe I get, like, George and me, we've had deep conversations about that. I mean, it was hundreds and thousands of years ago.
There's nothing wrong with
Still a
open
human
borders.
being.
There's nothing wrong with it. However, it is not feasible. We're not going to go with politics and economics and everything like that. Bottom line, it's not feasible. The only time, long story short, it's only feasible if it's one world government,
Yeah.
which is not good either. So anyway, again, out of
Now,
topic.
when I say that, okay, I just said that because of the problems going on, like the open border in the US, millions have crossed over that are in gangs. They were DRUG mules coming over. They were stuffing people's backpacks with their kids, bringing in the fentanyl, and all these other things were actually happening. So, yeah, that's when it becomes a problem. So, there's a bunch of rules actually to it, and that's probably why there isn't. I still believe that people should be free. Yes.
No,
I still believe in humanity.
Right. Again, like I said, it's not the topic, but again, nothing wrong
I'm
with.
not woke either, but I mean, I
Well,
still
woke has
believe
nothing to do
people
with
are
it. There's
people.
nothing wrong with open borders. Again, like I said, it's just not
Yeah, because
feasible.
they're, yeah.
Not our state. And again, it's only feasible if you have a one world
Yeah, because I
government.
couldn't sit there in the United States and say, this is my country and you all get out or something. You don't need to be here. There are people that scream that at people that are there. And to me, it's a piece of land. They can be wherever
I
they
understand,
need to be.
and a lot of people should understand that there's a lot of everything has pros and cons. For example,
But I also know the problem that it's backed by. So
no,
I don't,
yeah,
a
and
lot of
again, like
people
for
see
example, Marxism is nothing wrong with Marxism, but a lot of people go against it because I'm not going to mention the other term for Marxism. But point being is every good thing, even democracy, has a pros and cons. Again, if you guys want to talk about, open borders, and you talk to these Lindenberg group, then those are the people to talk to. Anyway, again.
Well, here's the thing. I believe everybody should go through the proper paperwork too.
Right.
I get the open border thing.
Currently.
Right.
That
So
is
in
not
other
the
words,
case.
George and
We
his
still have
family
different
paid for
nations. We have
immigration.
different countries.
Right, but they
You have
still
to
should be
respect
able to go. Correct.
respective countries'
So,
laws and rules. Okay. Anyway. That's nothing,
wow.
guys. Again, there's nothing wrong with a lot of things, except there's always chinks in the armor that people exploit.
Whole different thing.
Yeah, whole different thing. Robin Murray says, "How long can someone in the Philippines be held without?" Okay, well,
Good question. This is what I'm to understand. I thought it was less than a week. I think they have to have formal charges within a few days, or they have to release by law. There is something, but immigration, there is some other act that says differently. So I believe from the very jump street that they were holding him over being an undesirable. The very last thing that he said that they got him with in the end, he said the 10-year thing about the crime that he had fell through on day whatever. He did say all that. But it's also a federal crime and it's not been 10 years. Where has it been 10 years since he's been out of his probation and all that? It
and
has not been.
remember, Not just the 3 million. He stole somebody's identity, aka passport.
Initially when he
This
left
is
the
not
first
hearsay.
time.
This is fact. He stole his brother's passport, which is a big no-no in any country. So, being he did that, that's a crime in the U.S. and in the Philippines on its own.
Who knows? All I know is the undesirable is what I believe the original charge
Well,
might
like I
have been.
said,
I thought it was the tax situation, possibly, but according to him, it wasn't. So,
right.
how long can they hold you? As I'm to understand, it sounds like he tried to fight the case. That is originally what I was hearing, is that he was trying to pay attorneys to stay initially. So, but as I'm to understand, it could take a few months to get out of here too. So I think
Yes.
voluntary deportation would have been the other thing, but I think he fought it. So yeah. But I believe it's 3 days, 7 days without a charge. But I would only be Googling at that point.
Well, I believe it is 3 days, but either way, he was not. That was not his situation. Mike Ross says, "Welcome back, George. How was your vacation?" It was very, very wonderful, actually. Very, very wonderful. Lots of activities. Lots of activities. Had lots of fun.
It says, except for cases of voluntary deportation in the Philippines, an order and a judgment directing the respondent's deportation shall become final and 30 days. So he had to fight it. My guess is he's fighting. Do I believe the system turns that quick here? No. But according to the immigration through the Philippine laws, 30 days. If it's not voluntary. I heard that if you leave, it'd be a lot quicker.
Oh, that's deportation, though. Yeah.
Okay, that's still, I didn't want to talk about here. If they claim that I offed somebody, they've got to have some sort of formal charges and something on me within a couple days.
Oh, yeah, they can't just deport you
But
because somebody said
immigration
something.
says
It doesn't
30,
work like that.
30, except for voluntary deportation.
Yeah,
And
it
I
doesn't
believe
work
that's
like that.
even quicker. So he probably could have been out of there sooner if he wasn't fighting the case. He said he had to pay for all these signatures and pay for this and pay for that. I think he's going to 100% do 6 or 7 videos on this, releasing something with it each time, but I don't know. 30 days. I believed he would have been out of there sooner.
Victor C. Now, you have an interesting question. How do I tell my friends from the Philippines that could be skin tax? Actually, I wouldn't say skin tax at this point. It's again, skin tax is really not skin tax. It's classism. Again, if he was Filipino, they would have treated him the same way. Meaning, if they think he's Filipino with money,
Because George gets hit up too.
they would treat him the exact same way. So I wouldn't. I mean, I get a lot of people think skin tax is racial. It's not. It's actually just if they think you're. In fact, I was at a Sari store the other night, and I said, "Hey guys, you guys smoke? Just normal blah blah." And then yeah, blah blah, and then they showed me a metal pipe, and I was like, "What's that?" "Oh, it's to smoke tobacco." That's what they said. I said, "Oh," and I showed pipe. What do you call that? The
I don't know where you're
No,
going
no,
with
no,
this,
no,
but
no,
you're
no, no,
making
no.
me nervous.
No, 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 no.
You're talking.
I showed him the Sherlock Holmes pipe. And they said, "Oh no, only rich people use that." And then during the conversation, a lot of times when I talk to them, they said, "Oh no, only rich people say that." And these are not off the wall rich people things, but to Filipinos they are, and therefore they think you have money only because. Bottom line, for example, if I'm walking around with a pipe, the Sherlock Holmes pipe, they'll think I'm made out of money. But everybody uses those in the U.S. Well, not everybody, some people do. But anyway, you get the picture. You don't have to be
Not
rich.
for a minute, you didn't. Yeah.
You don't have to be rich to be, to be perceived as
Right.
somebody with money. I mean, they kept saying that, oh, only rich people do that. Only rich people.
They do
And
it to George. That's why we
right,
said we're double
correct.
taxed, and they're just going to treat you different. It's not always in a bad light. I mean, there could be some that's where I would call it extortion to a level that, you know, that there are some people that have been charged triple for an actual ride from the airport just based on them being a foreigner. Um, but no, it happens to you too.
Well, for example, another very common thing, because again, I was on my way back because obviously I didn't drive my car. I couldn't travel that far with a car. What I'm saying is I had my luggage. In their eyes, because I had a suitcase, a very simple suitcase, they think I have money. You get the picture? Something that we take for granted, a suitcase. But in a lot of Filipinos' eyes, they think you have money once you have a suitcase.
Yeah.
Simple things like that.
Here it said also another comment from somebody. It says Bud Brown and Paul Old Dog New Tricks told me that Filipinos are great and friendly people, but my ideal of paradise is ruined. Here's the thing. I want people to know that it shouldn't be ruined based on his statements or anybody else's. You need to experience it for yourself. This can happen to you in the United States. You can end up with no medical, you can end up in jail or prison, and you could experience a lot of these things. Okay. So the same thing starts with you from the very beginning in the United States, whether you're going to get an attorney assigned to you or whether you're going to pay for an expensive one. If you don't pay for a $50,000 attorney, more than likely you go into jail over a crime. And if you watch a lot of those confession shows, which I've seen a lot of here lately, they will force people into confessions just to get a number of prosecutions. The system is corrupt everywhere. Here is not going to change. It's a third world country and people need money. So things are actually going to happen. Do I believe there's something going on here? I don't know. And that's something I'm not going to get heavily into, but it could happen to you anywhere. It could happen in Canada. It could happen in the UK. It could
No, 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 it
happen
can
in the
happen
Middle
anywhere. Yeah.
East. If that's what you want to do is come here to retire, expect issues with medical, legal, and a bunch of other issues. Anything could actually happen. So I wouldn't say that it's actually ruined in that manner. If if there are no other issues, then you shouldn't have to worry about that. So,
Right. Now, John Ryder says, Heidi, you believe countries should have open borders,
yeah, I
then Heidi,
answered that.
take off the doors off your houses then. Now,
Nah, that's going a little
Okay.
far there.
okay. Now, again, honestly, that's way off. The reason why I say that, for example, the best government
Also believe that we should be able to defend ourselves too, and
right. Well,
take away the law and see how things go, and then I won't worry about who's taking my door off either. So
right.
I believe in a lot of things.
No, the closest thing you can ever think of. You remember I brought up Marxism earlier. The reason I brought that up because in a one world government, technically Marxism is the most ideal government to take over. Everybody's equal. Everybody's this. Again, I'm not going to name the other word for Marxism because a lot of people are against it. Now, there's nothing wrong with Marxism, and Russia, which is your biggest Marxist country in the world. Okay, even they have doors, even they have locks. Okay, so no, that's not possible, John.
Well, I mean,
Now-
just like I said, that's a prime example that I do believe, and then I also believe the same as I just
Well,
said, that I should be able to protect myself under any
Even right,
circumstance.
even a
or-
country where it believes in equality, even they believe in doors and security and that. Also, here, keep in mind, exact same reason Neil says open borders and welfare in that country is unsustainable. Guess what? How's Russia doing? It collapsed. Remember? There's pros and cons of every government. Anyway,
I believe in a lot of things.
Rob Morrison says I would not overstay. Things change,
How's that
including
song go? I believe in you. I believe in ponies, and I believe in whatever. So
I don't know that
everything
song.
I believe in.
I would not overstay. Things change, including penalties. Go to your town hall and police station to find out what to do the right thing and what I'm thinking. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. In Be Free says open borders means no country. That's why I said it would be a one world government. A country with no borders will not be a country long. Correct. Now, Mike Ross says visa fees are
That's the same
cheap.
as everybody believing everybody should be educated and everybody should be free and everybody should be making this amount. Everybody should have medical. I believe in all the above too. That's because I believe in humanity, but
Well, like I said, there's no perfect government out there.
it's
Makes
like,
no sense to overstay. No, again, it's really dirt cheap, really. So no, there's no reason.
yeah,
John Ryder says be free 101.
yeah.
I guess 101%. That's what I meant. Correct. IATV sales, steal, borrow. What's the difference between brothers? There's this.
Pretty much.
Rob from Paul to pay John, or Rob from John to pay Paul. Um, John Ryder says, I think everyone should jump North Korean border. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's up with that?
Ryan Nichols says
Sure, he'd like that.
30 days in a hole. There you go. In a hole. There you go.
Days in the hole.
420. No, not 420. They said
He's
tobacco.
making me nervous there,
No,
man.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
wait a minute, you talking about pipes and
it was a tobacco pipe, but again, because remember, Filipinos do smoke tobacco, not rolled for the most part. How um they obviously they smoke it in some makeshift pipe, but anyway, the a lot of there are Filipinos that chew tobacco, but it's rare, extremely rare for somebody younger to chew tobacco. Only the elders smoke, only chew tobacco, put it that way. It's rare that any younger generation does. JD says 100% right, George. It's not skin tax. Yeah. John Ryder says it's white tax. IATV says, would Filipinos be convinced I'm rich if I sported a monocle? Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Even in the US. Have I seen a monocle in the US? Yes, once. And I believe I was somewhere where rich people are. So yes, if in America you don't see a monocle, I've seen a monocle, yes, once in my lifetime in the US. And they're in a rich area. So yeah, if you wear a monocle, definitely.
What is wrong with your dog?
John Ryder stopped dressing. I actually don't, but okay. I wish.
I think he does because no, I'd probably say 7 out of 10 Filipinos or more are actually just wearing shorts and flip flops, and that's not you unless you're
Because I
actually
wear
going to the
jeans.
beach.
No, babe.
Jeans or Nike tennis shoes of some
a
sort
lot
or
of
color.
Filipinos. Well, a lot of Filipinos wear the same thing.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's why you got sassed by that Grab driver right off Jump Street. As soon as he got off that bike, he was nasty. So
No, and again, before
and I think he
before the
thought you was an
video,
expat.
he
That's why he
refused to
questioned.
give up the food. I asked several times, over and over, nicely,
Mhm.
and
So
that's
the
what that's about.
guy- Yeah, the
He
guy
refused to
came
give the food. It's
before
like,
the cameras even
dude,
turned
give me the
on.
food.
But I think the whole point of bringing that up again is that the guy thought you were an American, and
No, he was
already
shocked
out
when
there fighting.
when I spoke Filipino.
And I
yes.
didn't even come outside for a few minutes, and all I mentioned out loud was, we sent the directions several times, and George kept saying, "Please give me the food," and the guy was like, "You didn't give it to me right." Well, at that point, we didn't understand why, and then
No,
of
he
course,
kept.
so it was off the
He
chain.
he
at that
refused to give
point.
the food. That was the arguments about, not the time, not the directions. He refused to give
He
the
thought you were
food.
an American. That's the whole point I've been trying to make this right now is that you do, when you spoke English, you do that a lot. So,
Yeah, Chris Monk says open borders may not be possible. We are all indigenous to this planet Earth. Brian Nichols says,
yeah, we're all indigenous. That I believe deep down. Yeah, I don't believe in race, whatever, everything. I don't believe in any of that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody can be as free as they want to. You can love who you want, be whatever religion you want, and do all of that. But I believe all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, like IATV says again, for Filipinos be convinced if I'm rich if I support a monocle. Like I said earlier, Brian Nichols says, don't know about Filipinos, but I would. Again, because that's extremely rare. I only seen it once in my lifetime. Big Papa, how you doing? Big Papa
Yeah, he was
says,
in there last night. Good morning.
I've been going to the Philippines for 20 years, but nothing ever happened to me. It's a beautiful place with beautiful, friendly people. There you
Yeah, I
go.
mean, Sunshine was saying that the same situation similarly had happened to him. And I remember that incident. It was a bunch of other vloggers turning him in and trying to get him in trouble. They all attempt that at some point. And they said it was a bunch of stuff. And he said he went in and sat down and talked to him. And if he didn't deal with him, he feels he would have been in the same situation. Um, it's the same in the US or any other country. The chances of this happening are going to be pretty slim, but there are going to be some things that you're going to have to pay with and deal with. So it's, be if he ended up or, I don't know. But I would agree with that. I've been here for a couple years and there's, been a handful of problems, but not many. Dealing with things like the electric, or I'm not talking about like legal or some medical, like getting appointments. We were here in the height of the pandemic, those type of problems. Things being slow, the heat, my own medical issues, but there's been nothing that would not keep me here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
John Ryder says, as long as you don't steal over 1K, you're okay. John Ryder says they also have borders. No, again, it's just not feasible.
I would say that overstayers because of laziness. There are some that don't have the money. There are some that literally come here and they won't go in to even pay the $60 because they do become that broke. They overspend, they
There,
overindulge. There's a lot of them
there are
that do
some
come
just
here
give the
like
money
broke.
to the Filipinos, says, here, take care of my immigration.
Oh my God. I don't know how many have done that.
I'm
That is
sorry.
true.
I'm sorry. That's just
It's been a bunch of those too. And that's another thing. This isn't just about, World Zoom and everything. There are the ones that come here and yeah, the one guy said he handed off all of his money and it was a lot of money. I'm like, why would you pay that kind of money
is it
to have somebody
possible
do your
to an
immigration?
extent you still have to show up and do your biometrics and do your signatures and stuff like that? Your Filipino cannot do
Cannot
that
do all
for
of that.
that.
So he had to know something. So he got deported. There's a lot of people. That's just it. There are a bunch of people that that has actually happened to them, but they got deported pretty quick. The same with the ones they just caught. These guys are usually gone within 30 days. So there had to be something else he's not saying. There's something else. I think he's just YouTubing it up right now. I really do, calling that out, that he'll do probably 3 or 4 more of these, and it's part of our coverage today. And yes, we did too. So, Mark.
John,
Oh, I'm still wondering about Mark still being a liaison with the embassy, but that's possible. I mean,
John Ryder, I love you, man. You and I should probably meet up in real life and talk. Really? No, I mean that. I mean that. But anyway, no, I'll say it later. But anyway, he said something funny earlier. Now, Be Free says, Heidi, no guarantee of results. Depends on your effort. Sarah Tyson says, hit the like button, guys. Thanks so much. Hit the like button, guys.
yeah, guys.
Helps out the channel, makes Heidi happy. Make her happy, make her smile. Thora says, hi. See, that's because you're not hitting the like button, guys. Look at that face. Look at that face. Hit the like button so the face will disappear.
I bet if I said I punch you in the eye right now, I bet you that'd go up.
Yeah, the like button will probably soar. Anyway,
Right, that's a sad fact, guys.
yeah, Linda
I do that in
Cataliano
private.
says,
I do that in private. for
happy
free.
anniversary. Oh, thank you so
Thank
much, Linda. I appreciate it
you.
so much.
Doesn't that look at that right there? Doesn't that look like a donut?
Yes.
It's a dog bed with a little white dog in the middle of it. Surprise.
Yeah.
I was looking at the comments.
John Ryder says, toilet paper roll and tin foil, George. Okay. Now
That was back in Mexico. And
we're talking about, okay, this is why I said, John
30
Ryder,
days in
I love
the
you, man,
hole.
and you and I should sit down, meet up in
Hey,
real life, and have a talk.
Hey, if what's his name? Hey, listen.
I think me and John
If
Ryder would
Barry
have a
Jordan
great
can get us-
conversation with each other because we kind of get
If
each other.
Barry Jordan can get a girlfriend in, why not some tinfoil?
Yeah. So anyway, he's talking about conspiracy theories and all that. So
There should be some things that
again,
be...
that means we're kind of in sync. So anyway, yeah. And again, I appreciate you, John Ryder.
You know what I would just do to them? I would just rag on them and nag them to death.
Oh, just an example, real quick, only because
I would rag and nag them guards to death.
yeah, you probably don't want to do that. They'll probably put you in the farthest corner of the detention center.
Mm.
Just to give you
Robin.
guys a hint of Filipino humor, okay? I got a ton of it, obviously, but here's the one of my favorite ones because they assumed I would get this wrong. Okay, they assumed I would get this wrong, so they asked, "Hey George, I bet you know the answer to this question." And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get this wrong for sure." They said, "All right, here's the question. What what is next to USA? What is next to USA?"
Which side?
No, that's it. That's all you get. What is next to USA? Keep in mind, I did think I would get this wrong. So, what is next
Map?
to USA? Nope, they're not going to give you anything. That's all they're going to ask you. This is Filipinos, guys. Just so you know. So anyway, I was sitting there with a bunch of Filipinos when I was asked this question. So all of them are like waiting in anticipation, staring at me.
They probably said the UK or something.
Okay. The correct answer, which I answered properly, okay, and everybody once I said the correct answer, they all oh, and they all clapped. The correct answer to that question, Filipinos, mind you, the answer is what's next to USA? I said USB. That's Filipino humor.
And that's why you still stale and dry. That's
Well,
why.
I'm just letting
Any
you know,
USB,
Filipino jokes don't translate to American jokes, and
Try-
American jokes don't translate to
Try
Filipino
and
jokes.
Kapampangan.
What do you mean?
Saying Kapampangan.
It's
Maybe
not,
it'll be funnier that way.
not really. It's just not even kasiping in USA. It's not really much different. But
USAB.
anyway, it's still babe. Anyway, I'm just letting you guys know again. Humor doesn't translate. Doesn't most of the time it doesn't cross borders. I'm just saying.
Most your humor doesn't cross my border either.
That's not true because you say I make you laugh a lot. But anyway.
Do it, Joyce.
What's that?
I
No,
told
no, no, no,
George
no.
we were talking about we were discussing about the humor of sometimes the people that are around him or the women that have dated him forget he's Asian.
A lot of
and I
Westerners
said that
forget
I've
I'm
never
Asian
dated.
because of
Yeah,
my
and then
behavior
he
and my language.
did this to show me his
And then
eyes and
and
face.
after I said a lot of them forget I'm Asian, I went,
You look more Mexican.
yeah. And most of the time I have to remind them, you do not realize I'm Asian, right? And then they're like, oh yeah. But anyway,
Dad joke, George, is what Rob said. Yeah,
well, again, it's not my joke. It's
Ted
a Filipino
said the
joke.
ocean. John Ryder said nothing, and that's what I was thinking in
Where
my
is it?
head.
Where
Is
is it?
this just on a piece of paper?
Oh, hey, Linda, thank you so much for being a new member.
Thank you,
Yeah, guys,
Linda,
thank you
so
so much. I
much.
appreciate your support. Yeah, Ted Dangan
Thank
says,
you.
Filipino dad jokes,
30
dad
days
joke.
in the
Pretty funny,
hole.
John Ryder says. Victor says
Hey, maybe I can
USB.
make a 30-day in the
John
hole
Ryder
new song.
says 420.
Hey, maybe I can make a song for
Ocean.
I was thinking nothing. I was going to say water myself is like next. Well, that's why I asked which side. It's going to be water.
Again,
for a
it's
little bit.
not my joke. It's a Philippine. There's a ton of Filipino jokes that I learned, but again, it won't translate. They just don't. They just don't.
They never
do. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Hold on. Let's see. Da, 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 da.
I'm still on antibiotics, guys, but I am feeling better for those that have been sending messages.
Sarah says, "What's that monocle?" There you go. John Ryder says, "Plus, you walk and talk like an American." He's talking about like how Filipinos think I'm.
He has a lot of
an
friends.
American.
You have quite a few friends that have no accent.
A lot of my
daughter has no accent.
My circle of friends talk like.
Well, look at the
this.
Filipina P. She too. Every now and then you'll hear George's accent come through, but the P's the same way. The
Yeah.
Filipino P is like spot on with no accent. So it's just weird. For me, it's still weird, but there's a lot of
Actually-
Filipinos like that.
Actually, when I was on the phone with Heidi, right, and then when I was away, and I hung up the phone, and I said, "Sorry, I was talking to my wife. That's why I'm speaking English." And then my friend says, "You speak English anyway."
That's just it. He does that, yeah, a lot.
Um.
And then if not, he's speaking Kapampangan.
Okay,
so-
that's another. Okay, I speak Kapampangan. Is my number one language. Tagalog is not my first language. It's Tagalog. I do have an accent. That's a given because that is not my language. Kapampangan is. John Ryder says, I didn't work my whole life to give it away to people that didn't apply themselves. There you go. True story. I agree. Amen, John Ryder. That's what Be Free says. Byron Nichols says we'll be free. Steve Schwartz says, love you guys. Thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Victor C said, George Murd Griffin. What?
Oh,
Today?
I don't know. I've been out
Yeah.
myself sleeping for the last day, so
Yeah, sorry to hear
Merv
that.
Griffin,
Yeah.
game show host.
Wow. I mean,
I'll look that
no,
up.
that's not it. That's not it. Here, I'll show you. All right. Well, anyway. John Ryder says, has anyone think Heidi was Lucy from Peanuts as a child?
Possibly, yeah. I don't think it's Lucy. I think they're thinking of Peppermint Patty, the one with freckles. Just the dark hair. Was Lucy the other one with the dark hair?
Well, Lucy is the Charlie Brown's girlfriend. I put air quotes because
Yeah,
she
with the dark
keeps.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Nichols says humble pie, 30 days in a hole. Oh, John Ryder's answer is nothing. What's next to you, essay? His answer is nothing. I didn't see that earlier. Rob Morrison. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Rob Morrison says even in Canada there are immigration specialists who claim to solve all your problems
And
for
they
only an
will.
exorbitant
I
price, sir.
believe within reasoning, I've been told, and the people that we've been dealing with, there is. You get all this fear mongering that they're going to throw out every single criminal that there is, and there'll be nobody accepted. But there's a bunch here, and there's a bunch that have their paperwork legally. So I just believe that it's those that mess up after they've been here, or the crimes are so great they're unforgivable and recent. I believe that World Zoom was because his was under 5 years that he's been released, and it's federal, and it was millions of dollars. And so, and I think God, how many felonies? It just wasn't a few. There's quite
No,
a few.
like I
He
said,
had quite a few.
forget the money. Let's forget the money never happened. Again, he stole a passport, and that's a violation in the U.S. and the Philippines because he used the passport here.
So I just wanted to say is that you don't want to be legally in trouble here and end up in jails, because is some of what he's saying true and what Sunshine is saying or people have said about the jails? Oh yeah, it's definitely somewhere you don't want to be, but that's any jail. If you end up anywhere in jail, including the United States or prison, it's not pretty there either, guys. It's not. Go talk to some of those people. And on top of that, you're going to deal with medical problems. So you have medical problems. You don't want to get into debt here and over medical problems or have to rely on family members. A lot of people cannot get any help from their family as far as taking care of any of those medical bills. So there's a big portion of the guys here that can't afford that, and they can't, I don't know. But medical will be another one of those things, and then homeless and destitute on top of it. You definitely don't want to live on the streets here. I mean, if it's not the mosquitoes that'll bite you, you end up with dengue. You end up with, I mean, I started freaking out the other day. 2 more of those centipedes were in the bathroom, and one came up my leg during the shower. And if I'd have got bit, being's my one, I have a spider bite leg right now that is majorly infected right now. And if I'd have got bit on that leg by one, and he was pretty good size, babe. That's big for me. So it would not have been pretty. And they say you're supposed to keep the bathrooms from being damp and all that. It's an impossible here in the Philippines. So that's the biggest thing. And they come up through the drain holes. And I've seen several of those centipedes here. And this time it was the first time where one actually was on me. If you step on them, they actually do this where they're not really biting you, but their tentacles or whatever actually, as I'm to understand, are getting you more than venom. But you don't want to be bit by one of those if you're out on the street, or the rats, or all these different things. If you're homeless on the street, it's not going to be pretty. And then you're not going to have, there's a lot of these older gentlemen have medical problems, or like me, it would just be really bad. So it's just, you have to have some sort of plan before you come here. I mean, that was a whole biggest part of this live stream today, is navigating the challenges and emergencies of being here. And I mean, there are some things you would just want to consider before actually coming here.
Yeah, no, of course.
Paul could have avoided it by not actually coming back. He should have known. I mean, at some level, he claims to have an education, a high education, and be a smart businessman and all this, but then evidently something eluded him that, did he actually check in with attorneys when he got here? Did he check in with them there? Did he look into these things? Did he ever once think that he wouldn't? Was he so narcissistic that he didn't see it coming, that he really thought he was it part of his
Well, I think
his system, that he just really thought that he would never be
I really
in
think he
trouble
did it
over
for
it?
love. I really think he came back for his, and I really think that he
So
came.
why didn't he go to Dubai instead? If Sheila was in Dubai, why is he in the Philippines?
You answered that one.
I just thought about that one myself.
You answered that one. That's
I
why
don't
I said
know.
he came here for love.
Hmm.
You've already answered it, actually.
I came here for love.
I'm in Dubai. I'm one of the first cops there.
Oh, gee, many crikeys. I want to know, does he have apple seeds in his head or something?
Well, again, Heidi answered that statement again. I
Why is
truly
he
believe
here?
that he's here for love.
Unless he's just here to be close to his child that's over in Thailand, being he's probably banned from there. He's got to be blacklisted from there.
That
if he
doesn't make
was
sense
arrested there.
either. You can't be close to.
Maybe she comes over
Being
here
in
with
the
a
Philippines
kid.
is no different being in the U.S. if the child is in Thailand. You're still,
Maybe she comes over here,
well,
or maybe not at all.
then-
But why would he?
again, that's
So he can have a great
a lot of
YouTube
things
channel? I don't know.
A lot of things don't,
Maybe when he
connect.
watches it, because that was his answer to somebody. They're like, "Oh, the Philippine Antics did a video about you." Yes and no, we didn't. We're more talking about your actions and how you're saying all these extra things. Maybe he'll answer that, but I doubt it. He'll never. What is that word? He's not going to. It's not that he's going to fess up to it. I don't know. He never even said, okay, it was me and this and that, and that's why and all that. Does he owe anybody that? No, not really, but he's putting that all out there anyways.
Right.
I don't know.
Sartaz says, I think he's dust long ago.
Hmm.
Mike Ross says, Phil Donahue died today. January says, I'm sorry, but the Philippines too much work for me. Much easier in the U.S. Well, I mean, of course, obviously, if you're an American, it's easier to stay in your home country, or if
you
you're
can
British,
afford
it's a
it,
lot easier to live in
if
the
you
UK.
can afford it and that it's safe in your area. Someone the other day mentioned again, and they'll probably come on and say it was me that mentioned it. We've had someone come through a few times stating about that, mentioning how the United States is safe and it's not as bad as I keep saying that it is. I'm sorry, I think it is. I think financially it's a wreck. I think institutionally it's a wreck. It's a wreck governmentally. There's a lot of things going on. I love my country, but it's nowhere where it was even 10 years ago. And there are a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues, but you also have to take into consideration if you have so many problems going on, it's going to be way worse here. It's going to be way worse here if there's a lot going on. So
Yeah, of course.
it's kind of a basket. My husband lives here. He's born and raised here. It's really inexpensive here. I don't have all those issues. It could be a medical challenge down the road, but I think the country is actually improving. You know, maybe the US with the next election will turn things around when a woman's running the government. Who knows?
No, I'm laughing because of an experience I had.
Oh no.
No, I'll show it to you
It's a
on
joke.
on
I
the
don't know who
video.
will be
No, no,
running
no.
the
I'll show
country.
I'll show it on the
Oh,
video.
is it something you seen?
No, something I experienced while I was on my trip. And anyway, Brian Nichols says yes, Mr. Donahue passed yesterday.
Gotcha.
Right. I guess depends. Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. CBGB says Elaine
Dylan.
is it De Leon died last week. John Ryder, the first Jerry Springer, Donahue.
Bill Donahue? I don't know if he was the first Jerry Springer. Remember that Jerry Springer show I showed you the other day? He was in a suit or something. I was like, that was so weird. Some of his first shows. So, hey Salem.
Hey Salem, how you doing? World Zoom indeed was on the hook on the passport issue. Yes, that's easy to say. It was claiming only a 1-year Philippine ban. Right. John Ryder says, I'm sure he was playing with the girls.
Hold up.
Which one? What?
Go down here to Shaw and Barry's life. Hello, I met Paul and his wife. Okay. We said that the guard said he had a wife, okay? And he was in detention with my fiance. What you are saying about Paul is untrue. Why do people get on here and spread lies about people? What lies?
What lie?
What lies have we said that he didn't put out? What stuff? And you know what? We did say that. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? We said that he was married and that the guards told us so, and that there were other things going on, but I don't know what else we would be telling. They said allegedly he was married, and we had emails coming in. Are you one of those that sent us those emails?
Right. Now,
And
again, I was clear. What's untrue? That the first policewoman. I mean, come on.
well, have him say what part it was.
I
We'll
did
address
again. Well, I didn't want to repeat it again. This is the first, cop in Dubai. His girlfriend. No. Is her name Sheila? No. Now,
that.
those are
What
separate.
untruths are we
Those are
saying about him? This is
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those are separate to World Zoom. Now, keep in mind, does he have? Well, you told me to. Okay, then I guess I'll stop there. But what I'm saying is, I already mentioned it again. Does he have a wife named Sheila? Said I don't know. Is Sheila actual a real name to protect the real identity?
girlfriend.
Right.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It probably is, but what he claims as the Sheila is not the same thing. Is that untrue? No, it's fact. It's very factual that the first policewoman is not his girlfriend.
According to this, Shaw says, well, you are as bad as the others on here starting the drama. What drama? I am a Filipina.
That has nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Whether you're Filipino or not, which part did we lie about? Oh, saying he stole his passport. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's actually proven already.
Saying that. Not his
That's
current one.
not the current passport.
That's how
but
he got to Thailand initially, not
correct.
his original.
No,
We said, oh,
again,
that was in the newspaper. I wouldn't be addressing this person. We don't even know if they're even real. So, anyways.
yeah,
so
has nothing to do whether
it's,
you're Filipino or not. It's irrelevant.
It
I mean,
is
The
very.
fact that you're saying, "Oh, I'm Filipino," what's that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Filipinos here, are we? He is. He's dissing our countrymen. He's dissing our countrymen, talking crap about our judicial system and its
He is.
background. And you're saying you're
As
Filipino.
a Filipina.
As a Filipino. Think about it.
Well, she said if that's what she's saying, and she said that her fiance's in there, then who's your fiance that's in there?
Right. Again, now his current passport, yeah, we're not talking about his current passport. How he, again, he, anyway, whatever.
Yeah, according to She Shaw, and Barry is not allowed on YouTube. They took his phone. But he was on there before. Where is that a lie? We said that he had a YouTube channel. We didn't say now. And how did anybody end up with a phone in there?
And actually,
He said he had the phone.
and actually, all we mentioned
World
Barry
Zoom said no.
is
World Zoom said that he had his phone most of the time. He just said that too.
right.
We are only repeating what he actually said. We said that
Oh, boy.
Barry
Okay,
Jordan
so
had
anyway.
an actual channel.
Mm.
We didn't say now why he's in there. Other people have went in there and recorded him.
Yeah, and this again, this is what Heidi's talking about as your comment. We never actually talked about Barry and his YouTube channel. We never mentioned that. We said he's, according to Paul Cardwell, your alleged friend, okay, alleged friend of yours. That's what you said. According to him, he's in there with him. But we never mentioned Barry's channel. So
No, I did. I said that Barry did have a channel.
yeah,
YouTube
but
channel,
we never
but not
said that he
now.
was vlogging there or anything. We
Yeah.
said, according to Paul, he's walking around there. We never said he was vlogging there.
Yeah.
No, he has a channel, but that doesn't mean that you get incarcerated, your channel just disappears. It's still there. Go look at it. But anyway, it's just weird.
No, it's not weird. Their channel has a couple thousand subscribers, so we've never seen this
Yeah,
person.
see, John
before
says
in our
always had a
entire
phone.
life. So
Now, again, like Heidi says, even Paul says he had his phone. That's why he has pictures and stuff like that. But anyway, and Mike Ross says, and his Xbox. Yep, he likes his Xbox. But I mean, anyway,
yeah.
I like
have
my
no
orange
idea.
juice, and I'm Filipino. I'm saying it's irrelevant. Yeah, again, let me get back on track. I'm sure he was playing with the girls again. I'm just going back in.
And what was the entire? So then, what is the tie? Check this out. What is the tie with you and Barry Lee Jordan? The complaint with Frank Patagula. You putting it on here, talking about them buying subscribers just to get ahead, and called him a moron. So you have some sort of. So they're tied into that.
So yeah, so again, talking about calling the kettle black, you're all about drama, and yet
and
here
then
you
come out-
are.
Yeah. So okay, just pointing that out for the people that you're gonna come up here trying to be all loud and everything, and
Yeah.
you getting called out
You're
right
all
now.
yeah, all your channel's all drama. Ours isn't.
Oh, well, it's not all drama. She's got some makeup going on there and whatever else is going on there. So
Right.
good for you.
Woody Light says maybe Sheila is holding off all the money. He is probably hiding from the old crimes. Again, we don't know.
It's hard saying. People wonder. That's what I wonder how it came up, because one of the comments was that he spent 16 or 17,000 or somewhere along that line, spent that much to stop a deportation. Wonder why. And that I don't know why he actually would.
Right.
That he spent all that money. It just doesn't make. And to me, that is. To me, that is a
No,
little
again,
insane in
where's
this
this-
country. That's
Is it a lie? We're saying where all this money coming from? Is it a lie? No, because
yeah.
Anyway, John Ryder. No, I agree with you. No worries. America's going to be great again soon. Again, things get worse before things get better. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Does anyone here find the picture shown by World Zoom a little dubious? Hello, Miranda.
I think he's talking about the sucking in thing.
There's a few people that called him out on that, but mostly this live stream is just a fair warning for people that, and some of them have all the above. So evidently he's got some serious medical conditions that he knew about before he came over here too. And this just isn't a place to get a lot of medical done here unless you're actually living right next to facilities. So
Mike Ross says that's Barry Jordan. She can't write that sentence.
yeah.
Be Free says America is as safe as you want it to be, same as any country. Know where you can go and have backup. No. Again, it's relative.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, chosen one. Thank you so. Oh, that's right. He's still in the. What's next to USB? He's still in the USA.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Hey, chosen one, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, chosen one. Appreciate it. Joseph Relford says.
Oh, snap. So that is.
What?
That is Barry.
Yeah.
So that's. Yeah, no, I'm not believing that.
Anyway, Joseph Relford says I saw a regular guy out in town. I don't realize he was so. Yeah, he's a big guy. John Ryder says, yeah. So regular guy on Angels. Oh, so John
Yeah,
Ryder, you
he's
too.
here.
You saw
Yeah.
regular guy on Angel City Strip Friday. PH
Gotcha,
Harper
gotcha.
says Zoom spent the money to fast track and get out of detention. My guess he did the. Yeah, no, he did. He did the.
No.
He didn't. do
No,
it?
he's saying he did the voluntary deportation. He'd have been gone sooner than that. So you're saying voluntary? He paid 16,000 to get out of the Philippines
His words.
voluntarily. Yeah,
His words.
with an attorney and Sheila and his family. That's all the stuff that he paid to do a fast track.
Well, I'm just saying that's his words. Yeah, that's what he said,
Yeah,
according to him.
we have to say according to him.
Yeah, no, I was going to.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
not believe that.
Well, again, it's one of those, but there's a lot of. Brian Nichols says, wherever you are, be
Those
aware
were
of your
his
surroundings.
exact
Yes.
words. Zoom said voluntary. Yeah.
Yeah. Those were no, exactly. Yes, his words. Yes.
Barry was in there or still is in there because there's other issues. So he has to wait for court hearings. I'm not believing 4 months for a voluntary. So
John Ryder. He's slanky tall guy. Slanky. Yeah, that's it. Very interesting. Not lanky. Slanky. Slanky. He's a slanky tall guy. Yeah.
All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. Bunch of stuff going on today. So we appreciate everybody dropping in today.
Yes, issues.
I don't know. Oh, Shaw should worry about her man there in jail is what she should worry about. That is for sure.
Well,
so
she could have at least confirmed whether Barry is with him or not. I mean, I get they met, but that
no,
doesn't mean nothing.
it's a good possibility, but why would he say he was locked up and then Barry was free? We seen Barry walking around.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and he says,
Victor C. Look at the
but
full
he
moon.
made it like whatever was going on with Barry
Yeah, no.
was part of what his problem was. And there's a lot more going on with Barry. That's why he's there long term. So I'm not going to pretend that we know all the charges, but it's different.
Right. No, and he did.
Thing, but
he did steal the passport and everything. I mean, that's a fact. Not the newest one.
not the newest one.
Not the newest one.
Yeah.
But he did.
So, guys, we appreciate everybody dropping in to our subscribers and supporters.
Thank you so much for the
Sarah
support.
and Ted.
Yep, Sarah.
Thank you, chosen one. And we had our new member,
Linda Cataliano.
Thank you, Linda, for dropping in.
Thanks so much, chosen one. Night. John Wright says, have fun. Last day here. Nice show. Oh, thanks so much, John. Appreciate you, man. Rob Morrison says Netflix new movie called Undesirables filmed in Dumaguete starring Mark Thornton and Paul
Calder. Yeah.
You guys are funny.
Probably filmed.
Love you
probably
guys.
filmed in Vietnam. All right, guys. We will see you the next time. Everybody take care.
Love you all. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.